What is up, guys? Welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be answering a common question, which is how long does it take to get cash tournaments approved in your Skillz game? For those of you who are new to the channel, one of the ways I monetize my games is through a company called Skillz, and basically what it does, it transforms your game into a multiplayer tournament experience where you actually monetize on cash tournaments played inside of your game. So if there are two players, they both pay an entry fee, and then whoever wins that game wins both entry fees minus a small fee which goes to myself as a developer and Skillz as the platform provider. So to get back to the question of how long does it take for Skillz to review your game and switch on cash tournaments, that all depends. You see, there are certain benchmarks that you need to reach in order for them to review your game and then decide if they're going to switch on cash tournaments or not. Remember, these are real money games, so obviously there's a lot of legalities surrounding them, and as such any game cannot just pass review and offer real money tournaments. So I'm going to be going over each prerequisite individually and also giving you some advice of how you can reach those benchmark metrics in order for you to speed up the process of getting your game cash tournament enabled. So there are 5 prerequisites you have to meet in order for you to pass the review. The first one is the game has to be fair, which means it must be skill based. See, this is probably the most important one because if there's any elements of luck or chance in your game, that would be considered gambling, and there's a whole red tape of legalities surrounding that. So yeah, Skillz will only consider skill-based games. This means that your game will have to pass a fairness algorithm, and basically when someone comes into your game, they should be able to progress in your game. So in the beginning, maybe they're beginners, so their score is pretty low, and after some time there should be increases in their score which shows progress. And yeah, the game has to be fair, no elements of luck or chance. The second prerequisite you need to hit is that there needs to be 8 games played per daily active user. So on average, every user should be playing around 8 games per day. And this is important because the entry fees, they're not huge amounts, so obviously the revenue is going to come from increasing the number of games or tournaments played per day. And yeah, so in order for you to pass this check mark, basically you need to keep your game length bite-sized, which means around 2 to 3 minutes. If your game is say 10 minutes plus, obviously people have a limited time in the day, so they're not going to spend hours on your game. So yeah, you just want quick gameplay, and you want them to play as many tournaments as possible. This translates into more revenue for yourself as a developer. The third prerequisite you need to pass is that your game needs at least 100 daily active users. So at least 100 people per day playing your game. This is one that most developers come to me and they struggle with the most. They can't get to that 100 DAU benchmark, and personally for me, I always advocate building an email address from players. So from the first game you launch, you want to be collecting those email addresses, and over time you'll build up a nice database of players. So when you do release a game, you have basically a free marketing tool to use. You just do an email blast, and pretty much when I launch a game now, I send out one email and I hit that benchmark pretty easily. So if you don't have a big email list of you, if you're starting to build one at the moment but it's not big enough, I would suggest, obviously aside from tweaking your ASO, which is really important, I've done many videos on that, so you can feel free to check them out. You can also run a small paid advertising campaign. I would suggest either Apple search ads or Google ads. Facebook is kind of a no-go for real money games unless you get your account whitelisted, or they will ban your ad account. So yeah, I would suggest just running small campaigns. You don't need a ton of users. If your retention is decent, then I would say you need about 20 to 30 installs per day over a week or two, and you should hit that 100 daily active user mark. So yeah, that's what you can do. And in the meantime, keep building that email list, and you'll have a free marketing channel to go to when you do future launches. The fourth prerequisite you need to hit is that you need a day 7 retention rate of at least 7%. So in order for you to hit this benchmark, you need to make sure that, obviously, aside from having a fun core game loop, so it means that the actions that the player has to make over and over again in your game is fun to do, which leads to more replayability, which will increase your retention. The game needs to be bug-free. Obviously, any bugs, especially with competitive type games like this, it's okay if a player loses because their skill level wasn't up to par with their opponent. But if they lose because of a bug or a glitch in the game that caused the game to crash, that simply is unforgivable from the player's perspective, and they just kind of completely just abandon the game and never play it again. So if you do see your retention is a bit low in the beginning, then you need to just work on polishing the game and making sure that it's bug free. So yeah, aside from a great fun experience, your game also needs to be without any game crashing bugs. So the fifth and final prerequisite you need to hit is that you need 90% installs to 1Z. And this simply means that 90% of the people who download your game need to play at least their first tournament. And this all comes down to your onboarding process, your tutorial, making the game enticing to actually make the player want to go further and actually play their first tournament. So make sure your tutorial and your onboarding process is very simple. If you overcomplicate it, people just get lost, and that's where they fall off. So you make it fun, make it inviting, use fun graphics and sound effects to really entice them, and show the goal of the game, what they need to do in order to progress, and yeah, you shouldn't have a problem hitting that metric, and yeah, just make it nice and simple. So for you guys think about making Skillz games, I hope you found some value in that video. Let me know in the comments below if you have thought about making a game for the platform, and which kind of prerequisites you struggled with the most. I'd love to hear from you, and yeah, hope you guys enjoyed that. If you did, smash the like button, subscribe if you want to see more of this content. I will see you on the next one. Stay safe and peace out.